Hello students, welcome to class 12. Hope you all are fine and maintaining social distance. Let me introduce myself, Shutapa Mondal, your biology teacher, and we will start with the first unit, which consists of 4 chapters on reproduction. Let us start with the first chapter, that is reproduction in organisms. Before starting the chapter, I hope that you all are having NCERT book, and those who don't have can download it. But make sure that you are learning line by line of the NCERT book. So let us start with the chapter. The chapter consists of the topic, that is types of asexual reproduction, examples of different reproductive units, which is also called reproductive propagules. Phases of organisms' life. There are 3 phases of organisms' life, and there are 3 events of sexual reproduction. So let us start with the asexual reproduction, where you need to understand some terms, that is clone, which is morphologically and genetically similar individual, which is commonly seen in asexual reproduction, where the progeny, they are clones of each other. And this asexual reproduction is very common in 2 of the kingdoms, that is Protista and Monera, where the body organization is very simple, as they are consisting of unicellular organisms. Now let us know about the nodes. You can see the new leaves and the branches that grows from nodes and not from internodes. Why? Because the node consists of meristematic tissue, which is having the capability of cell division. So let us see the next topic, that is types of asexual reproduction. Now I have made a flow chart for you, from where you can easily understand. The types of asexual reproduction mainly are fission, budding, fragmentation, regeneration, spore formation, vegetative propagation. Now you can see that is a fission, which is consisting of binary as well as multiple fission. Binary fission you can understand when one mother cell give rise to 2 daughter cells, and multiple fission where mother cell is giving rise to many daughter cells. You can see the examples of multiple fission, that is Plasmodium, which is the malarial parasite, and it reproduces through fission, multiple fission in RBC and liver cells. And you can see amoeba also. Amoeba, naturally it does binary fission, but in unfavorable condition it undergoes encystation and does multiple fission. Now let us come to binary fission, where you can see 2 types of binary fission, definite and indefinite binary fission. You can see the indefinite binary fission, where the example is amoeba, where it is having no definite body shape. Thus, it comes under indefinite binary fission. But those who are having definite body shapes like Leishmania or Paramecium, they are under definite binary fission. If any organism cuts longitudinally like this to produce the new organism, then that will be called as longitudinal binary fission. But if any organism gets cut or gets divided in this direction transversely, then that will be called as transverse binary fission, where you can see the example as Paramecium. Now let us see the next type, that is budding. Now here there are 2 types are there, internal budding and external budding. Internal budding is the new term for you, where it can be seen in the sponges. Sponges you have learned, which comes under phylum Porifera. And this internal buds which forms inside the sponges are called gemmules. Now let us see about the external budding, which you have already learned, and that consists of chain budding, as you can see in yeast, and simple budding, which you can see in hydra. Now the next type is the fragmentation, where the organisms get cut by itself when it grows adult, and each piece give rise to a new individual that can be seen in Spirogyra. Now similarly, there is another type of asexual reproduction called regeneration, which is similar to fragmentation. But here, if the body parts get cut, then the new body part can get regenerate, or new individual can form from the cut part of the body of that organism. That can be seen in planaria, which comes under flatworm. Now, next type is the spore formation. Spore formation, where the examples are zoospores and conidia. Zoospores, which is seen in Chlamydomonas, and conidia is observed in Penicillium. In class 10, you have learned another example of spore formation, that is rhizopus or bread mold. Now let us see the next one, that is vegetative propagation. This vegetative propagation can be natural or artificial. Natural vegetative propagation can be through stem, leaf, root. And you have already learned that bryophyllum is the organism where the plant, where the new progeny forms, or the new plants forms from the leaf. And you can see sweet potato, which is a root and give rise to a new plant. Now in the stem, there are many types are there, that is tuber, bulb, offset, rhizome, bulbil. And the examples are also given here. You can see the potato, which grows underground, but you know it is a modified underground stem. And they are having the eyes, which forms new plants. Under bulb, onion and garlic comes. You can see water hyacinth, which is also called as the terror of Bengal, where one plant is attached with the other plants with the stem, and this stem gives rise to a new plant, and they are called offset. Like that, the next category of stem is rhizome, which consists of ginger, turmeric, and they are having the adventitious buds from where new organism forms. And you can see the bulbil, where the example is agave. Now let us see the next topic, that is phases of organism's life. As you can see, juvenile phase, which is seen in animal, vegetative phase in plant, reproductive phase, and senescence phase, which is also called aging phase. Now this juvenile phase, which is before the pubertal age, where the organism grows and they are not sexually active. Now you can see this reproductive phase consists of 3 events of sexual reproduction, which consists of pre-reproductive event, reproductive event, and post-reproductive event. This pre-reproductive, now what, gametogenesis and gamete transfer, you can see. That is, pre-reproductive event means before the reproduction, what are the 2 events that occurs? First, the gamete formation will be there, which is called gametogenesis, and it occurs through meiosis. You can see the meiosis, because in asexual reproduction we have seen it occurs through mitosis. And here the term is meiosis, which you have learned in class 11, and that occurs in meiocyte. Meiocyte means what? Meiocyte is the gamete mother cell, where the meiosis occurs and gametes form. Now you can see in animal, the spermatogenesis, that is the formation of sperm, oogenesis, that is the formation of ovum, which is also called egg. And in plant, what it is called? In plant, the pollen grain formation, that is the male gamete formation, is called microsporogenesis. and the female gamete formation, which is called megaspore, the formation of these gametes. It should get transferred to the female, and that is called the gamete transfer in animal, that is through copulation, in plant that is through pollination. The details we will learn in other chapters of this unit, but this is the flow chart where you can understand the different events of sexual reproduction. Now the second event is the reproductive event, where the gametes get fused with each other, that is called fertilization or syngamy. Now after the fertilization, the zygote formation occurs. That zygote formation comes under post-reproductive event, and this zygote starts the cell division called mitosis and forms the embryo. This embryo forms into fetus in animal, and then the growth of the full baby occurs. Now we should learn some important differences which is given in the book, like estrous cycle and menstrual cycle. Estrous cycle occurs in non-primates, that is cow, mouse, sheep, tiger, etc. And the primates of mammals consists of human, monkey, ape. Now you can understand that which animals are under primates and which mammals are under non-primates. In non-primates, the endometrial layer is absorbed and does not flow out like the menstrual flow. But in case of menstrual cycle, one of the phases of the menstrual cycle, which we will learn in detail in third chapter, there we will see the endometrial layer breaks and flows out of the vagina, that is called menstrual flow. And these animals are also called seasonal breeder, and the menstrual cycle animals are also called continuous breeder. Now let us see the next difference, that is heterogametes and homogametes. You can see when male and female gametes are morphologically different, then these gametes are called heterogametes, and if morphologically they are not different, then they are called as the homogametes, which is also called isogametes. You know, I'll show you the diagram where you can see that this heterogametes, you can see the female gamete which is so big and the male gamete is so tiny, and it is having two flagella which is observed in algae called chara. So it is called heterogametes because both of the gametes look different. But if you see homogametes, which is one example which I am having, that is cladophora, which also comes under algae, and you can see male and female gamete which morphologically cannot be distinguished, and that is why it is called homogametes. Now let us see the next difference, that is, you have already learned there are bisexual organisms are there, unisexual organisms are there. This bisexual organisms are also called as monoecious, which is also called homothallic, which is also called complete flower. In animals it is called hermaphrodite. You know, bisexual organisms are organisms where single organism bears both male and female reproductive systems and they produces both the gametes. But unisexual organisms, they are the organisms which is different individuals carry male and female gametes. And you know, in case of flower, there are staminate. Staminate are male flower and the pistillates are female flower. This pistillate consists of the gynoecium and staminate consists of androecium. You can see the examples of bisexual organisms like coconut, chara, earthworm, sponges, tapeworm, leech. And unisexual, there are so many unisexual organisms are there. Few examples are papaya plant, mercantia. So let us see the two important plants where the reproductive parts in mercantia is antheridiophore, which is the male part, and archegoniophore is the female part. Like that, Chara comes under monoecious plant. Monoecious plant means bisexual plant, where the male part is antheridium and the female part is oogonium. Now students, here we come the end of the chapter, and you will get the worksheet of this chapter in your school website, which covers whole of the chapter. But again, I remind you, you should learn NCERT book line by line of all the chapters. Thank you and